Welcome to After the Show with Larry and Gavin. Unfortunately, Gavin could not be here with us today. We'll be discussing Long Day's Journey into Night by Eugene O'Neill that is now playing at the Greenbrier Valley Theatre. Long Day's Journey into Night is a tragedy. All of the action takes place in just one day. In a cottage up on the shore of Connecticut. This is one of Eugene O'Neill's very best plays, and one of the very best plays in the whole American repertoire. And now the fun begins. We have Sarah Morrissey and Cliff Miller.
Hey, Larry.
Show. I'm so glad you could make it today.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Very nice to see you.
All right. So, here you are at the Greenbrier Valley Theatre again.
Yes.
Tell us about your first experience here.
The first thing was the importance of being earnest. A very different kind of event from what we're doing right now. And I was so excited to get the call to come back because it's such a tight, professional, focused group of people.
And welcome you. I'm glad that they got you here to be married.
So am I.
Well, let's get to it. Mary, would you tell us something about your character?
Oh my. That's the hardest question ever. Well, Mary Tyrone is the matriarch of this four-person family, which is based on Eugene O'Neill's real family, but he's given them a different name. Oh man, I hate to just start out that she's addicted to morphine, but I guess that is the crux of what happens in the play. She's, through no fault of her own, addicted to morphine. A doctor prescribed it after the birth of Edmund, who was played by Cliff. And it was not unusual at that time.
What your character is experiencing turns out to be very timely. The president just had a talk on the opioid crisis.
Absolutely,
And
it
it
really
set
is.
my mind working the whole time.
The other characters are dealing with their own personal addictions and diseases. So I'm not making it sound very cheery.
We talk about how dark it is. We talk about the confrontation and the fighting that goes on, the blaming, but there is so much love and so much seeking. I mean, these people are really seeking for something. The way they go about it might not be great, but they're trying.
You did quite well with handling the tuberculosis, the consumption. How did you develop that?
You got to get that foundation right? And so the foundation is the connections, the relationships, and how is it that I'm being affected by my mother, and what is the thing? Why am I having to do this right now? What's the thing that I'm after? I mean, that has to be figured out first, and fundamentally, that's the most important part. And then, what are the conditions that I'm in? I say I feel rotten. I don't care if I ever eat again. I have fevers and chills. Okay, so how does that inform things? And then having some knowledge, a pretty good working knowledge of the way everything works, from lungs to the box to articulators, it comes in handy when you have to cough and wheeze and be tubercular, to do it in a safe, sustainable way that informs the character's choices.
That brings to mind something I noticed, and that is there's so much overlapping conversation. Is it really difficult? It seemed like it would be to have somebody lay in their lines right in the top of you.
It was
keeping everything to click,
Yeah. It was harder than it is now.
Yeah.
But still, it is a little bit, but that's what we do in real life, isn't it, really?
I felt so empowered, it helped me feel more part of more of a relationship to my mom, to my dad, to my brother, because that's what I do, certainly, in my family. So once we got used to it, it added something to our relationships.
You do want to keep delving into it, and every time we do it, different things are revealed. It's wonderful. That's how you know you're working with a great piece of literature. He's so brilliant that what you pick up is what it hits you as a human being. The humanity of the play is so filled that at some point it hits everybody somewhere.
But what Larry referred to before is that, the opioid epidemic it's people are more
Yes.
more people are dying now than at the height of the AIDS epidemic.
Yes.
Right. And so everyone is confronted with addiction
I know.
in their lives.
Yeah.
And I feel like this play brings some, I don't know, some sanity
Yes.
to it. We're not so alone.
It is a sort of stark reality that genius and brilliance don't always come from, this wonderful nurturing and, this wonderful sort of life produce these wonderful sorts of, literature, poetry, art. It often comes from a lot of turmoil.
You see this man who's written, and by this point he's won the Nobel Prize,
Yes.
right? And he's won 3 Pulitzers.
Mhm.
He's a big deal, and we get to see, well, what made him? Where does this genius come from?
Thank you very much for coming and making my day. This has been great. I've
Thank you for the
enjoyed
conversation.
speaking with you and
Thank you.
made a big difference.
Thank you.
So, break a leg
Thanks so
several
much, Larry.
times.
Happy to be here with you today.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
All right.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you haven't seen Long Day's Journey into Night or want to come see it again, you're in good shape because it'll be on through the 11th, starting at 7 o'clock each night. Don't be late. Join us next time for After the Show with Larry and Gavin for Babes in Toyland. That's coming up in December.